let's talk about the results now. But before we do so, there's a couple things you need to know in order to be able to understand everything. First of all, in Forex, it's also called a currency market, right? So in Forex, there's major currencies. I won't talk about the minor one, but basically the currencies are Canada, the US, Euros, Switzerland, Great Britain, New Zealand, Australia, and Japan. Those are the 8 currencies that are traded, the 8 major currencies that are traded in Forex. So now you're gonna hear me talking about pairs, because in Forex we trade pairs. What do I mean by that? If we want to compare, for example, the US dollar against the Canadian dollar, we're gonna call that USD for US dollar versus Canadian dollar, which is CAD. So it makes USD CAD. It's a pair. 2 currencies makes a pair. So now you can take all the currencies I just told you and mix them, and it's going to give you the 28 major pairs being traded on Forex. For example, you can have the euros against Switzerland. You can have Japanese yen against New Zealand dollar. You can have Australian dollar versus the US dollar, etc., etc. So that's the point number 1. The point number 2, we use the simple interest calculation method in order to do our tests. We won't do that in real life, but in order to have the most reliable results, we use the simple interest method. Okay, you can go on YouTube and search for simple interest calculation method. It will explain it to you, no problem. But they spend a lot of time explaining the math of it. And it's totally true, and that's what we do. But for better understanding, here's what we're going to say. Each month, we're going to begin the month with $10,000. And it's going to give a profit or loss. The following months, we're going to begin at $10,000 as well. Meaning, example, month number 1, you start with 10,000, you do 2 grand of profit. Month number 2, you don't begin at 12 grand, you begin at $10,000. Okay, so this way we can compare things that are equal. That is in order to show you the results, so it's really reliable. The video after the result, where we're going to talk about the planner or your strategy, then we're going to use the compounded method. But for now, we're going to use a simple interest calculation. So now let's take a look at these results. Okay, so here we are. The first question we ask ourselves is the robot profitable on a 10-year period? Because otherwise it's useless, right? So here's what we did. We tested the robot on 9 different pairs. Here they are. That's what I was talking about. New Zealand dollar against Japanese yen, Great Britain pound against Japanese yen, get the New Zealand versus the US, and etc. All right, and as is from January 2010 to December 2019. So you have the gross profit, the number of trades that the robot did, and the commission that the broker removed. So net, this is the result net. So as you can see on all 9 pairs that we tested it on, it is positive, which is really impressive. You might not know, but it is. And for a total of $844,868 of profit. So basically, it's an average of 84 grand a year. Okay, so then I asked myself, and that's a question that is coming back over and over again, is Forex recession proof? If you go on YouTube and you do a search for that, they're all going to say yes for a different reason. But actually, nobody had any numbers. So since we have a robot, it's computerized and we can back test it, that's what we did. So during the financial crisis from November 2007 to December 2008, we tested the same 9 pairs and we did a profit of $115,000. There's only one pair that had a negative result, but we did some profit, which is really interesting. First of all, it confirms what people are saying on YouTube, but now we have numbers. So now here it's for, you see it is for 14 months. So we're almost doing 100 grand a year in recession, while our average in here was 84,000 bucks. That's something, because I don't know, and maybe you're one of them, but there's a lot of people during the financial crisis that had investment that lost a lot of value and they had to be patient in order to recover those, losses. So if you would have been with a robot, not only you wouldn't have had any losses, but you would have made more money than ever. So that's interesting. So now technically, we just answered 2 questions. Is it profitable on 10 years? Yes. Is it recession proof? Yes. Perfect. Next question is it profitable every year? Because, you don't want to have 3 years in a row where you're losing money and then you catch up on the 4th year. That doesn't worth anything because we need money every month, right? So let's take a look at it. And by the way, you are having the link for this document on the website. So here we are. I called that the monthly, but for now, we're just going to take a look at the yearly results. So each frame is 1 year, 2010, 11, 12, 13, and so on. So 2010, as you can see, you have a profit of $74,800. 81,000, 74, 44. That's positive. That's positive. That's positive. That's positive. 2018 positive. 2019 positive. And I did put the financial crisis at the end, but it is still positive. That is very interesting. It's profitable every year for the last 10 years and the year of the financial crisis. That means 11 years. Everything is positive. That's great. So now that question being answered, what's the next question, right? Is it profitable on a monthly basis? So let's take a look at that. So first of all, for each year, we're going to use only three pairs. I'm sorry. Let's explain that. Let's go back here. As you can see, we did test it on 9 pairs. But why would we invest in euros versus USD when our robot, our strategy is giving only 16,000 bucks in 10 years? That doesn't worth it. So what we did, we kept only the first 3. Why 3? Because the principle is maybe you're going to have one pair that's going to lose money on 1 month. You're going to have another pair that's going to be profitable, but it's only going to catch up for the losses. And the third pair is making profit. That was our basic principle at the beginning. That's why we were using 3 pairs. Okay, so let's go back to our monthly screen. So you have all 3 pairs with the results. These results are net results. We removed the Forex broker commission, and we did remove our commission, but we didn't remove the income tax.
that we're gonna do that later. So that's why if you add these three numbers, it won't give you this number. Okay, because I didn't want to have a large, screen to show you. I wanted to keep it simple. So great. So you have the result for each pairs. When it's green, it's positive. When it's pink, it's negative. When it's then you have a total net. When it's blue, it's positive. When it's red, it's negative. All right. So let's go back to our question. Are we profitable on a monthly basis? Well, 2010, all blue. 2011, all blue. 2012, all blue. 2013, all blue. That's 48 months in a row. Profitable. That's really good. 2014, okay, now we got two losses. One of $500 and one of $200. All right, that's what it is. Let's keep going. 2015, we have one loss of $3,500 and one loss of $700. It wouldn't be normal if we wouldn't have any loss anywhere, right? So let's keep going. 16, you got three losses, 800, 1300, 1300. 2017, one loss, $100. 18, two losses, and 19, one loss of $2,700. In 2008, we got one loss. Okay, so if we take a general view of it, how many losses do we have? 4, 7, 10, 11, 12. I got 12 losses in 11 years. That's one way to see it. $100, $157, $200, you can say it doesn't count. So if you do that, then you got 9 losses in 11 years. So let's make a general rules that 11 months out of 12 are profitable. I think that's reasonable to say that. So now you got 11 months out of 12 that are profitable. That means the day that you're going to retire or decide to rely on the robot revenue, you can tell yourself that you're going to have a paycheck 11 months out of 12. Not bad at all. Not at all. Really good. So then, what's the next question? Weekly? If I would do it weekly, honestly, the data wouldn't be so reliable because every time we end the period, there's open position, closed position anyway for different reasons. So what we did, we went into every graph. We went into every graph to look at the biggest fluctuation of the account, just to find out what was our maximum risk. So this is what it gave us. From 2012, January 2012, from the 6th to the 10th, the account lost $4,468. And for 4 days. Then it caught up, but we lost technically 44.68% of the account. Now let's go take a look at January 2012. January 2012, we did $11,484 profit. But it doesn't change that for 4 days, you lost 44.68% of your account. Now bear with me. I told you at the beginning, it's our testing method, and we wanted to find our maximum risk. It won't be like this in real life. I'll show you how shortly. So basically, we lost $4,400 twice in 10 years. It happened twice in 10 years. But we didn't really lose it. It's just been a temporary thing. Like here, it was from April 2016, the 28th, to May 4th. So it lasted maybe 6 days. That's it, right? But it did happen. And if you would have taken a look at your account during these periods, probably you would have freaked out a little bit. Let's be honest. So losses between 3 grand and 4 grand, it happened twice in 10 years. Okay, between 2 and 3 grand, it happened 4 times in 10 years. And the rest is what I'm calculating, like normal variation of the account. All right, so we wanted to know our maximum risk. Maximum risk is 44.68%, or $4,468 on 10,000 bucks. Remember that number. We're gonna work with that number. So these are the results. So now you got to take a look at it really carefully and ask yourself one question. Can I make an investment decision based on results like this? First of all, have you ever had any result like this before taking a financial decision? That's one thing, probably not. Then you have something that is profitable for 11 years, that is profitable every year, that is profitable 11 months out of 12, that is recession proof, and we have a maximum risk of 44.68% of the account. Worst case scenario where it lasts only, let's say, 6 days. Those are the truth. And that maximum risk, we're gonna show you how to bring it down. So if you do so, if you can make a decision and feel comfortable with a method like this, then we're gonna see you back on our video about the planner.